You are listening to Ras Temari Radio, Offense Necessary, where we discuss everything but politics. We're here with both Mahi and Alula. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Alula is going to treat us with another round of his brand of political comedy, his unique brand of political comedy. But first, Mahi and I were going to talk about something as Alula gets ready. The notion of the irony of this could be completely coincidental, that the word dry comedy in English and derek, which means dry literally in Amharic, and we use the word derek for certain kinds of comedy in Amharic, are basically opposites. Would you agree that they're basically opposites? So dry humor is associated with the likes of somebody that Alula and I, when we first met many months ago, we realized that our first bond is our mutual love of Norm Macdonald, correct?
Yeah.
Norm Macdonald is, for those who don't know, is one of the great comedians who just passed away a few months ago. Alula was the one who texted me on a Wednesday morning and broke my heart, informed me. It's really not that funny.
I didn't kill him.
I'm sorry.
And it's also not funny that Norm is dead. You understand how much people like us love Norm.
Dies, that's practically the reaction that people usually should have in his or her.
Yes, his last final joke is that he died. Right. Although he didn't, we found out that he had cancer for like 9 years and didn't tell anybody, and it made sense when I would listen back to Norm's stuff. I'm Not Norm is the guy on YouTube who often
it's
posts.
a girl, by the way.
Did we found out who it was?
It's a lady, yeah.
Okay, because for the longest time people were like, who's I'm Not Norm?
I actually went on the website and tried to buy merch.
Right.
Just to find out who it was.
And it's not it's not a relative of his.
No, it's like some random
people, because a lot of people were like, is I'm Not Norm Macdonald himself? Is it a relative? Anyway, so Norm Macdonald passed away. He is understated, monotonous, or not always monotonous, but deadpan. Another term they use is deadpan is the term that we often use for that kind of comedian who just kind of like says things in a very blunt and sort of understated way.
As well, in a way.
Sort of what?
Gloomy, kind of. Like,
gloomy?
Yeah, kind of a little dark.
Yeah, Norm he can be gloomy, and then other times he can be very like goofy and upbeat. But it's a very specific. It's just a very dry comedy. It's understated. It's you don't have to say much, right? It's kind of saying as little as possible. Whereas derek, when somebody does like that's in English, that's usually referred to as broad comedy. Like broad comedy is like Jim Carrey, some of his films, or he's a great comedian, and it requires a lot of acting talent. It really relies on it, but it's like very like over the top. The French are known for broad comedy, and so that's when we say derek, which is our use of the term dry, is the exact opposite of the American English use of the term dry.
I mean, I think in the English term of dry comedy, it is more of a genre comedy as opposed to the Ethiopian or the Amharic translation of derek, which is just a bad comedy. People would not enjoy it. Right. It's just something unentertaining. It's kind of stale.
Yeah, stale. Exactly. Stale. Just like dry goods, bread goods are stale. Like a stale pretzel is also very dry. But it's like almost like stiff or stubborn. Like this person is inflexible kind of in their insistence, in their insistence of being juvenile and infantile.
Yes, and bordering on insult. It's not very entertaining. But then, as I said, the English version, which dry comedy is just a genre
a style,
of comedy. It's a style of.
It's not necessarily normative, like good or bad, but still, I think usually when people go derek, it's somebody who's doing that over the top,
that's like
broad juvenile comedy. Whereas dry comedy is usually the other register, right? The understated kind of style. That being said, I don't know if your style counts as dry or derek.
I would
hopefully it's more dry.
I haven't heard it yet.
It's dry and painful.
You haven't heard it yet. Why would you? Oh, you just assume because you know Alula off air.
It's
not a fair.
I would definitely laugh at his
jokes
because he's just a funny guy.
Something about Norm.
Yeah.
Because before he died, with the cancer and everything, nobody knew.
Correct.
I'm an extremely hardcore fan. I follow everything he does, but
his family members didn't know.
Nobody
fans.
knew.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
9 years.
I took offense more than I don't know about his family members. Anyway, nice. The point is, like going through something.
No, that's hilarious.
When you're going through something, and there's people that talk about it in public. Like I'm dying, come see me at the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be here all week, the whole thing. And there's the side that says nothing, and I think that's very important. Like
say nothing.
To say nothing.
Right. I respect him even more than I didn't think I could find more ways to respect a comedian than I did Norm. There's just something about that guy. It wasn't just funny. There was something about him that was different. That was like true to who he was, and there was a kindness about him and a coolness about him, and I just love the guy. But yeah, Bill Maher even came out and said something like that, because Bill Maher and Norm had been on each other's shows, or at least they had feuded at one point. Norm used to trash Bill Maher all the time, but Norm had been an early guest on Bill Maher, and Bill Maher, after Norm died, said, Bill Maher's a political comedian. Speaking of political comedy, he said, and Norm hates political comedy. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Norm hates what you're about to do. Your hero hates what you're about to do. Anyway, Norm would. You like political comedy?
No, not about that, but the idea behind
not burdening
and not burdening your family members when you're suffering. I don't think that's a healthy
way
of coping with
Chadwick
things.
Boseman did the same thing.
But Chadwick, at least some people knew, right?
Yeah,
his doctor knew.
His closest family. Nobody knew with Norm. Nobody. And so what Bill Maher said, his opposite opinion was, you are not, I'm here to unburden you. As a comedian, I am here to unburden you, not to burden you with my problems, right? So no, a comedian or any entertainer should he respected him even more. I feel the same way, but at the same time, if I were real close to him, like I know a lot of people real close to him, other comedians, Bob Saget is a very close friend of his for long. They were like, dude,
he's dead.
Bob Saget died?
Yeah, like a day ago now.
Yeah.
Bob Saget died?
Yeah, he's dead, yeah. Like a day ago, I think it was yesterday.
Before yesterday?
Yeah.
What? I just randomly mentioned this on the air and Bob Saget died?
People are dying nowadays.
People
died COVID? No, but Bob Saget is like 60 years old.
Betty White died, Bob Saget died.
Betty White was 99.
But come on, still.
How did Bob Saget die?
And then, who
It was Any Day with Betty White.
Who's the director, the amazing director that died yesterday?
I don't know, but Saget is dead.
What were his films? I'm finding out a lot of in the context of comedy.
Can you look this up? It's Bob Saget. I think he's dead.
So what I was gonna say about Bob Saget is him and other close friends of Norm's, they were like devastated, but they were also like, dude, we understand his decision as a personal choice, but we wish we could have said goodbye to him. We wish we could have held him. You know what I mean? We wish we could do like for ourselves, and if not for him, it's a difficult thing to go through. But Norm was in some ways an intensely private person, as well as being very, very social. And often the most introverted people are also the most extroverted people. Yeah. I think Norm was like a great people person,
January
but
9.
also...
Yeah, he's dead.
January 9, 2022. Bob Saget. He died of COVID,
yesterday? The day before yesterday?
Day before yesterday.
Holy crap, Bob Saget is dead.
And who else? A director.
For those who don't know, Bob Saget is the father in Full House. And therefore was known as the father to Mary-Kate and Ashley, the Olsen twins. He was also on America's Funniest Home Videos, and then he reinvented himself as a very dirty comedian, making fun of his old sort of America's Dad persona. Yeah. He was also a filmmaker and a very good friend of Norm Macdonald, who passed away a few months ago, and I can't believe Bob Saget died. That's terrible. Not as funny as Norm, but who is, right?
Hey, something about Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
People keep saying he's the first black superhero.
Yeah.
He's not, is he? It's Blade. It was Blade. Blade was the first black superhero.
Isn't that more like a super villain? I mean,
villain?
It's a vampire. Yeah. It's a vampire.
He's ridding the world of vampires.
Was he? Okay, I didn't see.
He's an anti-hero.
Anti-hero.
Yes.
Anti-hero, right. So, of course, they're willing to have black anti-heroes.
Yeah, it was Blade. Right. And you know what's funny about Blade? The Japanese wrote Blade. It was a manga. So it wasn't even... Like, the Japanese intervened for equality.
I always thought about that. So bringing this back to Ethiopia, I always thought about that the whole craze over Black Panther was so disingenuous. Because if you wanted to find a story about, like, this African kingdom that was like a great myth of like resistance to colonialism, etc., you wouldn't have to make one up. In the case of Wakanda, you would just go to Ethiopia. Right? Ethiopia is like Wakanda in real life. Would be that would be the source material for Black Panther.
Most of it is.
It would be 1% of.
They have
Wakanda,
taken a lot of stories from Ethiopia.
0.1% of Wakanda.
Correct, but they wouldn't have to mythologize it.
It's the biggest, most powerful nation in the Marvel universe.
I got it, but they wouldn't have to fictionalize it into a Marvel story. They could just literally do historical epics about Ethiopia, and it would be much more compelling. But part of me, my paranoid sense as a black man, is that white people don't want to acknowledge that a lot of the source material is a real place called Ethiopia.
But with Thor is definitely depicting Roman.
Norse.
Yeah.
Norse.
But then it is a mythological place. It has nothing to do with the northern ideology. It doesn't even talk about any ideology.
I would say the relation to the source material
but it is derived
but the relationship to the source material in Thor, which I haven't seen, but I can tell from the title, because Thor is literally the god of, I think it's the lightning of the North. So that's literally what is it? Thunder. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I barely know.
The lightning is the light.
No, I know.
The whole point is to be heard.
Gotcha. So he's a Norse god, right? Whereas I mean, it would be like if the source material for Wakanda was, instead of being the movie being called Black Panther, if it was called Haile Selassie or something like that, or Menele or Iyasu or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's much right, but it would also be a much more direct reference.
Tiny. Haile Selassie's tiny. It's like 5'2".
But you get the point I'm making. It's a much more direct reference than Thor is to Thor.
Kevin Hart could play Haile Selassie. He has the same height, I think. He's 5'3". Do you see his bed? Have you been to the museum? Have you seen his bed?
Who, Kevin Hart?
Haile Selassie's bed?
No, yes, I've seen it. Yes,
Have you seen it?
Quite small.
It's tiny.
The room is also quite small.
It's tiny.
Those houses used to be mansions in the 1950s.
Jesus Christ, I told you.
Now it's a joke.
My bed is bigger than I am.
Yeah, they shouldn't show.
What the hell?
They should not show the Emperor's bedroom as a
it's fucked
museum
up.
piece.
His bathroom. I've been in his bathroom.
Yeah, no, it's.
I've taken pictures in the tub.
Well, you went in his bathroom, or you went in his bathroom?
I've taken pictures in the tub.
Okay, but you didn't go in his bathroom. You just went.
No, there's no sewage system. If there was, I swear I would have. But yeah.
Good. Let's after all that long diatribe and me finding out, bummer, that Bob Saget died. A part of my childhood died today. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
Go ahead. To start us off. So these are political comedic headlines.
Yeah.
In the style of the Onion, Colbert, Jon Stewart, etc. Go ahead.
So, COVID cases in New York State tripled as they hit a new record on Friday. They tripled the number of people that were sick. So that's the news. A spokesman for the mayor's office, when asked about the threat for the rest of the globe, said, "If it can make it here, it can make it anywhere."
The fuck?
Did you write that?
Yeah.
That's hysterical. I wish you had delivered it a little bit. Can I address your delivery first of all?
Yeah.
I said this to you when off air when you first came up with the idea. I don't know why you suddenly get so shy and so quiet.
Because Bob Saget died.
Yeah, I know. No, don't give me excuses. But see, the way you just said Bob Saget died, that's your usual delivery. How about you use that delivery and stop being so shy? Okay. That's a hysterical joke. Say that again.
The first thing that
it's a
came
great
to my mind
joke.
was like, da, 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 like,
right.
That's the first thing that
was
came
actually,
right. Or the Jay-Z song with Alicia Keys, right? New York.
That was a part of the joke that I cancelled out.
That's dark, but that's really funny.
Seriously,
really funny.
This bit that I wasn't going to say, but it would have continued. I decided not to do it, but it would have continued as the spokesman continued when he told members of the press to start spreading the news that he's leaving today and he really wants no part of it.
That's excellent.
Well, I decided not to say this part.
Oh my God.
Well, you just did, though.
Yeah, well.
And you should have from the very beginning. Please read it from the beginning.
Sinatra song.
From the beginning, yes. I think most of us know.
Okay.
Start spinning. Go ahead.
This bit or the news?
From the beginning.
Okay.
The joke.
Oh, the joke?
Whatever works. Just go ahead. I want to hear it again.
COVID cases in New York State tripled as they hit a new record on Friday. When asked about the threat level for the rest of the globe, the spokesman for the New York mayor's office said, "If it can make it here, it can make it anywhere."
That's really good.
The spokesman continued when he told members of the press to start spreading the news that he's leaving today because he really wants no part of it.
Honestly, you've already surpassed the quality of the you had some good jokes last time, but you've already outdone yourself. Okay, but it's all downhill for you.
All right,
how do you follow that?
Economy news.
Right.
The EPA released a $1 billion grant to clean up toxic waste in 24 states. The bill was passed this week and affectionately named "My 20-year-old stepmom is cooking tonight." Because it's toxic waste. Never mind.
Oh, okay. It's a bit convoluted. Some of these jokes are a bit convoluted. No, but that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So stepmoms in Jaranat.
Culinary news. This is
Jaranat is very toxic in general.
Toxic and
wasteful.
Yeah.
And she's funny. And
it's
she's
all
20.
the more reason.
The idea is his dad.
Phil, you don't have a microphone.
Yeah, I will next time.
Okay.
And it's misogynistic, just so you know.
Of course it is.
Thank you.
Misogyny is hilarious. Okay.
Oh, it's for stepmothers to be treated?
Stepmothers.
What if the joke was stepfather?
The equalization of... No, but that ideology exists, but stepfathers being bad does not exist.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It does.
No, but
Women
not
just
as bad
normal.
as...
No,
Stop.
that's women's
Come on.
fault.
The
We
stories
normalize
of...
it.
Beauty
Fiyori,
and
would you
the
like a
Beast
microphone?
Beast.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
This is live. This is live.
Because nobody can hear you talking.
This is live. Yeah.
I just want to
Okay,
I can
okay.
stand.
That's what I'm just saying, nobody
the
can
stories
hear
of
you.
Beauty and the
Hey,
Beast. The
No, just
story of
come
the
here.
stepmom? That's a generic story of
Yeah,
stepmoms
Cinderella,
being
yeah.
No, I'm just.
terrible. Come on,
Yeah, yeah.
that's... Come on.
I need Mahi and sugar.
All right. Culinary news.
Okay, so for now, our friend Fiyori, who's also in the room, I didn't introduce, has taken my seat, and we will continue. Okay, culinary news.
Yeah, this is for the foodies.
Go ahead.
McDonald's will pay $33.5 million to a former baseball player who owns multiple franchises to end a lawsuit against the company, accusing it of racial discrimination. The owner, by the name of Herb Washington, now joins Rodney King as he was inducted into the Beat Them Till You Owe Them Money Hall of Fame.
All right, that's okay. It's a certain style of joke where you just like address.
Yeah, it's too much.
Well, no, but it's like the beatdown,
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is for, yeah.
right. It's like in other news of like, you know, why I like to, I don't know, land on the, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
that style of punchline,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah,
don't
just
always think is great. But
Play with your tone a little bit.
Okay.
that's true too. The delivery
Yeah,
is.
all right.
Your delivery
I'm just a
when
bit
you
tired
speak,
today. It's
yes,
just
but
a
the
bit tired.
delivery when you speak like right now
I'm
in
tired.
this conversation is much more upbeat than when you read. Suddenly, when you read the joke, you turn into like a.
Because I'm defensive right now, that's why.
Yeah, but that makes no sense. It makes no sense. What if you spoke the way you speak when you deliver the joke
Okay,
normally,
okay.
and
Okay.
when you speak normally when you deliver the joke?
I'm
Just turn it
Alright.
around opposites.
Okay.
Hi there. Another friend of ours has just walked in the room and is walking back out. Continue.
Science news. Scientists recently discovered that Venus may have alien life forms in its clouds, which prompted in the change of the famous phrase, "Men are from Mars and women are aliens." Because
I knew this was gonna
men are
happen.
from Mars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really get the joke, but it's funny.
Men are
Is
from
it-
Mars,
you-
women are
and
from
from Venus, yeah, okay.
They
But
found
they
aliens
found
in
alien
Venus's
life
clouds, so
form
the
in
saying
Venus.
is now men are from Mars
So
and women are
technically
aliens.
we're angels. If we're from the clouds.
Of Venus.
Yes.
Right.
Regardless.
Convenient.
I'm just
They're
saying.
Saving
extraterrestrial.
the day.
I'm just saying. Technically, we already knew that Mars
Right.
and Venus were
COVID news.
extraterrestrial.
Okay.
COVID
Right.
news.
But that is okay.
A COVID positive woman self-isolates in a plane bathroom for 5 hours to protect other passengers. Shortly after the incident, COVID symptoms were updated with the addition of constipation.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
But she actually did
It's
this.
a little gross, but it's not bad.
But,
Yeah,
alright.
it's not bad.
Again, culinary news, food news.
So far, that first one though, it was so good that it took the air out of your
Yeah.
other
I
jokes.
should
But
have done it like in the middle.
this is significantly, as a whole, this is significantly better than your first go around.
Story of my life.
So
Story.
we're seeing the birth of a comedic genius.
Yes.
There's
Right.
Ethiopia's
What's the
Colbert.
date?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to label this. I guess economy? Yeah, economy news. New Australian law states that cats have been banned outside unless they're on leashes. The spokesman for the Department of Animal Control, yeah, said that shortly after the law was passed, this will increase the trade relations between China and Australia.
Because the cats are being eaten.
The cats are being controlled.
Yeah. That's okay. That's not bad.
All right.
It's also because China looks like a cat.
What?
You ever look at China on a map?
Not just say that.
It does.
China looks like.
looks
Oh, a
like
lot
a
of people
furry-
pointed that
They
out.
look like cats, would you say?
Yeah, the
See,
Chinese
my
society
first thought, because
looks
first of
like
all,
a cat.
it's they supposedly they eat dogs, not cats. But all I'm saying is,
Oh, they eat cats.
okay,
They eat
but
cats.
perhaps,
Oh, they eat cats.
perhaps. But when I think of China and I think of cats, I think of the fact that China on the physical entity of China on a map. A lot of people pointed out it looks very much like a cat.
Listen, the culinary bar in China is so low. They eat roaches, right? Seahorses.
It's not
You know-
the bar is low. It's
I've
they're
had
trying
seahorse
to
in China.
feed all of
I've
their
eaten seahorse, fried
population.
seahorse.
Sure.
Yeah.
I had green bean ice cream in China. It was one of the worst things I've seen wrapped chicken foot in China, and I've had some of the
Wrapped chicken foot?
the oiliest in a convenience store. The oiliest, greasiest food I've ever had was in China. They eat like a friend, and my cousin who was there would eat silkworms. On a table, and there was a guy who ate a bat in China 2 years ago who changed the course of history. So, and now Bob Saget is dead as a result.
Because some asshole ate a bat in China.
Yeah, dial down.
Well, yeah, no, literally, that's not a joke. That's just a fact.
Some jerk ate a bat and now he's dead.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
well,
It's not a
But-
fact though. It's not proven.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
it's
yeah,
still
it's
propaganda,
it's
yeah.
conspiracy. Yeah.
That's conspiracy.
The bat and
Yeah,
Wuhan?
the bat thing.
Perhaps, but you know what? It's not a conspiracy. And I'm going to say this on the air. If anybody's listening, and
Eat bats.
no, I have nothing against Chinese people. I have nothing. I don't particularly like Chinese food, but I don't. I have nothing against the Chinese as a state. Politically, I have nothing against them coming to this country. You know, it's all good.
Say something very insulting, but okay.
No, I'm not going to say something very insulting, but I am going to say something very resentful.
For your business, so be nice.
Okay, well, listen, again, I love Chinese
Don't
people,
ban you.
but I do not accept the policy of discrimination by Chinese restaurants, including the one that is literally 3 houses from where we're recording. And
Also,
the fact
Alibaba is a sponsor of the show, so.
that, who?
Alibaba.
Of my show?
Whoosh.
This show?
Yeah. Move on, go on. Alibaba, the Chinese
Alibaba,
shopping
yeah.
site. Like,
But they're not, though.
Go on.
Sorry, I had to ruin your joke.
Yep.
All I'm saying is, we'll get to the next joke, but let me just conclude by saying I do not think it is in any way acceptable for anybody to go to another country. It would be unacceptable for them to discriminate against Ethiopians in China, let alone for them to come to Ethiopia and have restaurants. And this neighborhood where we're in right now has like a handful of these restaurants that openly do not serve Ethiopians. And the fact that they get away with this, whether you would even think about it.
But they have a community here because they have a lot of businesses here.
I understand that. I understand that they cater to those business. I understand that that's their demographic. You're in marketing. You know what that means. That does not mean that you do not serve people on the basis. The one that is right down the street from here, 2 blocks from here. I walked in going, I want some food, some Chinese food, and they looked at me, and then they were refusing to speak to me for a long time. And then finally, the Ethiopian guy over there, the token, you know what, the house, you know what, there. Sorry, I'm sure the guy's maybe he's listening. The token house N-word over there was like, oh no, this place is for Chinese. Straight up, he said for Chinese.
Same thing
No,
happened.
you do not. That's just straight up discrimination. It's one thing to target an audience.
Sides. Maybe they got bullied for the COVID thing, or maybe for dogs or whatever.
That's an abundance of tolerance. That's a little too much tolerance.
'Cause I can understand Ethiopians being aggressive towards this kinds of cultures.
I can understand it. I don't accept it, but I also don't accept those cultures being aggressive towards us. Especially when I did
I'm
nothing
saying
except
maybe
go
they're
in
not
there.
being aggressive. Maybe
Except
they're taking
that.
precautions.
Oh, that's great. I went in there as a customer. I did not go there as an Ethiopian customer, and for them to repel customers is it's the fact that the government doesn't shut them down or do something about that is also
one thing we
crazy.
should focus on is this didn't used to happen before COVID. I used to go to this restaurant before COVID.
That place just opened.
No, not the
Another
that
one.
just
Okay,
opened.
yeah.
The one right behind it.
Right.
There's
I know that
another-
place. Yeah.
There's a community here of like Chinese, Asian.
I'm
infusion.
very aware of that. Yes.
Yeah, and then I used to go to
They're
the
all the
shops
same,
and it
go
was
on.
okay.
He's in joke writing mode. Yes, okay,
No,
continue.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so I used to go to the shops and buy some like spices here. It was okay. I was to go to the restaurants. It was okay before COVID. So I don't think they're being discriminatory or racist towards us. I think they're just being cautious.
they're just
because
being
of
cautious about a virus. that they
I
may
beg,
have.
I beg to disagree, but okay.
Did you
I
ask why
next
you are
week.
being kicked out? You could have done that.
They didn't kick me out. They told me this place is for Chinese, and I said that's crazy, and they were like, we don't care. And I was like, well, you want me to leave? And they were like,
That's the
yeah.
answers.
They were
Like,
like,
would have done that.
what?
Why are you being very specific about race?
I mean, how much more explanation do I need to for
You
them,
just
for them
buy-
to straight up
listen.
tell me we only serve Chinese people is what they're telling me. That's what they're telling. Okay.
Bleach your
Let's
skin.
move
I get
to the
that.
next show,
There's-
guys.
there's
If you must have Chinese food, bleach your skin, get a sun hat.
Okay, now we're getting into
Shrink yourself.
Oh,
Shrink
come
yourself
on.
into a
Get
Oh,
tiny
come
human being.
on. Oh, come on.
Maybe have a small dick.
Okay, okay, thank you, Mike. Let's move on to the
We're
next.
discussing Zodi's penis now. Nice.
So now the
No, I'm
next,
giving him
the next headline is
Cat's out of the
a
bag.
backhanded compliment.
The cat's out of the bag and in the Chinese restaurant.
offense necessary.
Nice. Okay.
Continue.
This is God news, I guess.
Yeah.
Employees of a candle production plant destroyed in the recent tornadoes filed a class action lawsuit against the company. That's the news. A candlelight vigil was held for 8 people that died in tornadoes. When asked about the travesty, a local priest said, "Oh, happy day when Jesus walks, he is so efficient." Because
That was a really long joke. That was a
no,
really
it
long...
was the factory makes candles. The
Yeah.
people died. They had a candlelight vigil at the candle factory. So Jesus is efficient. Anyway.
Yeah.
Pope news.
Okay, continue.
The Pope was celebrating his 85th birthday this week when he received a call from President Vladimir Putin congratulating him on his global role and wishing him a happy birthday. The former KGB director said that he was grateful and that Putin is welcome to visit the Vatican anytime.
I don't get that.
This is the joke.
The joke is,
Putin's gonna die.
okay, so the Pope celebrated his 85th birthday. That's the news.
Correct. Yeah.
And then Putin called him, said congrats on what you do and happy birthday. And then the joke is the former KGB director said that he was grateful and that Putin is welcome to visit the Vatican at any time. Because the Pope is the former KGB director.
Oh.
It is?
I changed. No, I changed the joke.
Oh, see, the setup needs more explanation. It's not the greatest concept either. Okay, let's keep going.
Right.
You know, the problem
I'm
is
dying terribly
but
today.
you started off so strong. You start
Yeah.
off so strong.
Yeah.
Okay, how many more do we have?
I think I have 2 more maybe.
Okay, 2 more.
Hold
Let's
on.
go. Let's
One and one more.
let's call it 2. Let's round up to 2.
Let's round up. Okay. Sex and the City producer Michael King said that he wants
A little louder.
Sex and the City producer Michael King said that he wants the new sequel to have the same slow burn of a love affair with the audience that the previous installments of the film had. Michael later added in the tweet when he said, "Please go watch the movie. We spent so much money on Botox and adult diapers."
That's not bad. That's not bad. But
'Cause
again,
they're
your delivery is really the problem. Like
Yeah, I know.
that joke
I'm
is
just
that
tired.
joke is a lot of
I'm tired.
potential. Yeah, but you're not too tired when we talk out. Like right now, when we're talking, suddenly you have energy. When you read the jokes, suddenly you're too tired. Is that it, or
But isn't that insane though? That the average age is 60
of what?
on the
Sex and the City?
The cast of Sex and the City, yeah.
Yeah, that
Sergeant
show,
Parker is 56, I think.
yeah, that show was around about
The fact
middle-aged
that the
women
joke
20
had
years
a
ago.
diaper in it makes it funny enough.
Yeah, but
Just have to try harder.
Yeah, Botox.
I have ideas for the episodes for the show because it's going to be a series. It's not going to be a movie.
They're kind of an easy target. The Sex and the City cast. So
Yeah.
like old ladies in general are easy target. It's not fair. It's sexist. I agree, but.
So episode 1 is going to be hearing aids in the city. Episode 2 is going to be herniated disc in the city.
Okay. I think we get the concept. So do you have another one, or should we wrap up?
No, that's it. Okay, hold on.
That's it.
Hold on.
Yeah, you still haven't figured out how many more jokes.
No, I might have one more, but no.
Save it for
That's it.
next time.
Okay, you had a few really good ones in there, and it's improving all the time. Alula, thank you for coming on. We
No, I
will
have
see
one
you.
more,
for
actually.
next- Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it
No,
is.
okay.
This is your encore presentation. Go ahead.
I wasn't sure it was going to work, but
ahead,
let me
go
try it out. Okay, so news. One of the many people involved in the Capitol riots was sentenced this week with a record time of 5 years in prison for his part in the failed coup attempt. The Capitol riots.
Yeah,
I'm referring to.
correct.
Yeah. So many news outlets covered this story. And the Fox headline read, "Naughty boy gets long-time boo-boo for making smelly caca on daddy's carpet."
What is the point? What is your?
Because
Who's
Fox
being-
viewers are dumb is the point.
Oh, okay, and childish.
Yeah.
Childish.
Inter-
Yeah.
inter-
Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's
Not bad.
fine.
There was some,
That's why
there was some,
I left it.
yeah. Well done, Alula. Please
Thank
come
you.
back with more.
Yeah.
You provide us with a necessary sense
Much
of
needed
relief. Yeah. That's necessary. Thanks everybody for listening. This is Ras Temari Radio, Offense Necessary, where we discuss everything but